Welcome back, folks, to DreamHack Open Tours, the first installation of the Open Circuit this year, Hugo, and our first showing of a North American team in a BO3 has not gone their way. Strong start from Torqued, 7 of 8 opening rounds. However, complete and utter turnaround. AGO, they've woken up.
Yeah, they are looking good here, and to be honest, after their defeat versus Godson yesterday, there were definitely question marks from me, going, okay, are they coming into this event prepared? Are they coming into this event good? Was it just a one-off game? And it seems like that was the case. It seems like they are ready for this one, and now we're going to head into Inferno to see if they can 2-0 that series, or if Torqued will pull things back. Are you leaning towards this 2-0 now after Train?
No, I'm still gonna hope for Torqued to pick up a map here. I think that they've given us enough to kind of expect from them, right, in terms of individual play. I mean, they even started Train off with hitting a bunch of shots. Remember, the moment AGO start to come back into the game is off of the one round where the entirety of Torqued are stuck up inside heaven and nobody that round lands a shot. Every single Torqued player lost their duel, and from there, the entirety of the map just goes back into the hands of AGO. And again, I think they also kind of turned up individually speaking. And even within those 7 of 8 rounds picked up by Torqued, some of them were very wobbly. Remember, they win a force buy after the gun round just to make that happen, to kind of, you know, dampen the economy of AGO and open that door. If not, we're looking at even more lopsided scoreline. But that is arguably what we've expected, right? When we looked at the veto process and we saw AGO picking up Train, we think, well, this is their home map. And while Torqued, yes, also loved themselves some cash, Inferno, Hugo? Inferno is a good place for them.
At the very least, they did win the knife round, so they get that CT side, so that's where Torqued's been pretty good, although those odds don't look great for them. Yeah,
CT side Inferno. So if there's any criticism that I tend to identify when it comes to Torqued CT setups on Inferno, because their T-sides are strong, right? This was a go-to map that they used at the Mountain Dew land, their first land showing of this 5-man core. Their CT sides were strong, were weak. And I've found that it's because of the rotation timing in between the bomb sites. Like, they'll find players either B or A just kind of very disjointed. Sometimes I would argue overemphasizing maybe, you know, the 1 or 2-man B setup, but very reserved, you know, in the back of the bomb site, giving up banana control. And then because you don't have those close rotators, things can just very quickly slip away from you. And when Inferno is one of these maps where you're almost kind of forced into saves often, there's so many situations where you're disjointed from a bomb site, you've got 3 guys in A pit, and they've planted in a 5v3 that you're just not going to try. And if Torqued are going to get conditioned like that, if AGO will bully them in those regards, then I think that we're in for a 2-0 series. But if Torqued can start strong, if they can individually play like they were in the opening of Train, then there's a chance. There's a chance.
Well, let's find out. Let's jump straight into this one. Map number 2 here of the day, Torqued versus AGO on Inferno. With AGO on the T side, they're going to be picking up a bit of utility, mainly armor, Torqued with a fairly standard by themselves. And we're right into this one, Connor.
Kit, double flashbang for Steel. The only utility picked up. Steel will be a consistent B-site player. Expect Poyo and Kusa to be playing the brackets of the map. And once he has his AWP, he loves to go for those mid picks. Right now, though, he needs to get these kills, and he will find Furlan before falling off. AZK from Pit starts to chime in, dropping bomb, and this is looking great for Torqued. A fantastic pistol to kick off Inferno, to kick off their choice. A clean sweep, in fact.
Very disjointed from AGO, though. Torqued given a lot of 1v1s in that round. AZK not only able to take down the player on short pushing up, but the second man through was far, far delayed. Even able to wide strafe apartments and take down another man. AGO just never seemed to be in tradable positions. Look at this, how AZK is just able to isolate these 1v1 duels and not be pressured by AGO. Awkward pistol around there for the Polish side, but they lost the previous as well on Train, and that map turned out fine. So, second round force buy. CZ's Deagle P250, and Torqued with a lot of SMGs here. In fact, no M4s, double FAMAS and a lot of utility at the very least. But these CZs can be so dangerous up against the MP9s. If AGO can close the distance, Torqued can certainly be in some danger. But Steel going to relieve a bit of pressure up on B with the first kill already coming through. So PHR dead, and the bomb alone here and tagged up. If Steel can find this follow-up kill and drop Furlan, that could be the round in and of itself just done, because Torqued will have complete control of not only Banana, but also the bomb, and that seems to be happening now.
Ooh, here it is, and it falls into the flames with the smoke deployed down deeper. AZK gives chase, Swag is here to support, and sure enough, we've just got kills trickling in. Not only do they milk the cash cow with the MP9's Hugo, but they minimize their losses. No one dies on Torqued, and if you're going to start having an economy behind Torqued with the AWP in the hands of Kusta, again, this has the makings of a strong start.
Yeah, I mean, and they got one more anti-eco to go as well. Like, this could be another flawless round from Torqued.
This is a turnaround from Train, where they sustained early losses. Remember, after losing the first gun round, they were back into 3 pistols.
And again, you know, this is a map that you really want to get those clean anti-ecos. You want to build up that early money, and Torqued doing a very, very good job of exactly that. One casualty in the apartment, but Poyo moves in to secure at least the gun, stop them from picking it up, and makes the money on the way out. 3 kills off that MP9. Very good start of the map here for Torqued, but that's never really been a question. It's down to these rifle rounds where AGO can start to find success, and will Torqued commit with these MP9s? Because again, this has been a map that, as of late, we've seen a lot of teams kind of starting to utilize more shotguns and more SMGs in buy rounds. You know, having like a dedicated apartments player with a Mag 7 to, you know, just not only make money and build up that economy for the CT side, but also the ease at least of getting that kill in apartments with a shotgun, upgrading to an AK and just falling back.
Deep utility again. Steel not standing back this time, but trying to get those close encounters. AGO are going to look to change up the pace here, hoping for an overextension. Steel willing to rotate over towards the A site now that he's boosted the player up onto the half wall. That'll be contact and early information for Swag with the ability to fall off the angle.
I actually really like this position from Steel and Swag. Like the flashbang is going to set them up for a lot of success here if AGO do commit to this later in the round. But for now, it's middle. Up to the A site here for the Polish side. We're caught in the corner here, MP9, but there's no Molotovs to clear him out. So AGO, they're going to have to take this gunfight. And this is where the MP9 does reign supreme in a lot of cases. We need an instant headshot, but AGO expect to know the position and at least have their eyes trained.
This is the kind of B-site setup that I was hoping to see, right? Where because of Steel's back position, he can still support Swag with utility, but he also has a shorter route to wrap over onto Arch. It creates that, you know, 2-3 second difference in terms of rotations, but having been flashed off his angle, no longer holding on to the ability of info, now we see them fall back into what is generally their bread and butter, the deep B defense. And Poyo, well, he tries to emerge from the corner. He does substantially tag up Furlan, but now they'll wrap with brackets into the A site. Kusta and AZK also pinned in behind boxes, and Kusta can only get one with that MP9. So, AGO with a plant and a 4v2 here on A.
The awkward thing about this save for Torqued, if they do hold on to these guns, is that, you know, they've got money to buy up full rifles and an AWP. That's what I'd like to see in the next round, but if they just save an MP9 and a FAMAS, they're going to still have them into that 5th. These could be limitations coming back to hurt Torqued unless Steel can maybe upgrade to an AK-47 here, but are AGO going to give him the opportunity? As he hunts through the apartments, he does spot one player, but the range of the SMG is not going to allow him to take the fight, and now they can start to chase him down, or just completely exit through middle. Swag also with an opportunity to do some damage, and there's Furlan dead on the exit. Second kill for Swag, and Steel can even come in from behind. This is fantastic from Torqued, and even though AGO get around on the board and everyone dies from the CTs, not only can they rebuy, but they can reset AGO, who only kept one player standing.
Yeah, that's really big. That's definitely just nearly kicking the feet from underneath AGO. They'll stand back up, but on wobbly legs. Good clearing of brackets too, right? That was such a quick execution, a quick split. And with the 2 defenders just so isolated on the bomb site, they're not able to do all too much. But with all the money in the bank, they start to put it out here. 2 ops.
And into the first real buy for Torqued as well, but that position from Snatchy will completely catch off Kusta, coming in from the second middle up through the Mexican, and he's going to find that first kill. So, Torqued, man down, an AWP gone, it's left to Swag with the AWP, and Poyo in the apartments finding one. At least trading back here for Torqued, but a very dangerous engagement in which he loses 80 points of health, so AGO certainly ticking away. As they look back towards the A bomb site, and the bomb's still towards the bottom of Banana, Torqued have rotated another man over, that being Steel. So at least he's here, ready in time for the push to come through for AGO, and Torqued are playing within the sites as well. They're not contesting long. This leaves the wrap open for AGO. That may be a possibility here to go towards that B site, but with 4 players up towards A, it's looking like the commitment with a split through apartments.
Very similar to the previous round. This time, however, a third defender from Torqued and only one on the bomb site, but they could so easily redirect themselves. They have found no presence on Arch. This is going to be one of those situations where if Swag doesn't get himself multiple kills towards B, it's going to force the remainder of the A defense to just go for the save here. Although they do kind of dwindle down numbers themselves, Poyo able to trade back towards Snatchy. Swag could actually walk down Banana, and if he gets this kill, then it is a 3 versus 2 with both of these Ts still isolated on B. 15 seconds. He knows they have to be somewhere, but oh, the gap in the wood will cost him. And with the plant already down, what's the call from Torqued?
It's got to be a save, right? They're so committed to A. They were deep in the pit when the bomb went down. That's such a long rotation. Take into account they're not only low on Poyo, but also a man disadvantage. Everything is playing against Torqued in this round, and that's such a big problem. It's nice to see AGO at least take advantage of the fact that Torqued were giving up the archway, and it seemed like Swag was not ready for that. Not even the player in Banana, but the wrap through the CT spawn. He was so tunnel vision down towards the bottom of middle. AGO not allowing the reset, despite taking a lot of economical damage in the previous round. As we highlighted, they do come back in with a big one, keeping 3 alive and getting himself on this T side once again.
That's one of the downfalls of the positioning we see in that round from Torqued, of course. Having themselves not positioned towards Arch gives no info. Like you said, it seemed like Swag was kind of curious as to whether or not they were even nearby. And once more, the opportunities are there. Swag wins the duel, then he's safe from behind. He's got the chance to reposition, and Torqued could have quickly tried to get themselves back in for a retake, but the one op, the one AK, nobody buys up around this. And it's going to be Steel to try and pluck a man off the bottom of Banana. A little bit of a head boost. And Snatchy spots a shoulder.
I like that bait though. Poyo's in the corner, so Kusta, he gets spotted. Now Snatchy's going to try and chase him down, and they might not expect this rifle here in the corner from Poyo. Although Molotov comes in, he has to smoke himself out of position, so now they have at least the information. They can't get rid of him just yet. No AGs. Snatchy does find the kill though. Now Poyo with a wide straight, but they expected it. Only one kill before the trade is back in from Snatchy again, continuing his performance on the AWP from Train, where he looked to be the best player on AGO. He starts the same off on Inferno.
Yeah, he's just been a killer thus far. Still the threat of the op from Steel, but if he gets a kill here, this might just redirect these players back towards A. It's a good flick and a better fall off. Plays it safe. But again, a position where Arch is so open, you can see Steel wary of this, so he needs to be extremely safe. And AZK might actually find a little bit of timing, but he doesn't follow up with this kill. Swag in a playmaker position, cowering to the corner as bomb wraps round. Still presence towards Banana as well. They're giving PHR a chance to clear some corners. Still hasn't actually found Swag, and now Swag gets a chance to reposition. He drops that bomb carrier and then will fall himself. But oh no, Steel, he's got an angle and a kill. And it's down to 10 seconds. If Steel just runs away, then he might get this. He might not expect Snatchy to be barreling up middle, but he hears it and he's got it. There it is, the round for Torqued. In a saving grace, Swag drops that bomb.
Oh, for a second as well, it looked like Steel may have even pushed up through the archway to middle. That could have been the end of him there, but no, it is Torqued picking up the saved round with 2 rifles and 3 pistols. It seemed like everything was working out for AGO as well. As you were mentioning, PHR just clearing out the pit gave him the information that, okay, the only position that haven't cleared is sight, and Swag in the corner knows he has to move, because if a player wraps you up through long and you're sitting on that back corner like Swag was as a CZ, that's too much range for you to fight up against an AK, and PHR just doesn't want to take the close angled fight. Great work from Torqued to actually pick it up, but mistakes made from AGO, and they're going to pay the prices. Down to pistols here in this round with only that saved AWP from Snatchy. But we've seen what the one saved AWP can do, as Torqued displayed in that previous round. AGO, top of middle here. That AWP trying to find the opening pick. And it will be Kusta with his own as well, trying to challenge up short. Got to watch the apartments, but Poyo has his back covered.
This is now every single half that Torqued has played in Tour. They've won after losing the first gun round. They're able to get those force buys to work out for them. Quick kills in rapid succession. Steel and Kusta with 2. This is going to push AGO all up through truck lane. This is 3 players now coming into the bomb site, and they line up for Steel. He's going to find 3 on the round, and Poyo is there to trade out Kusta. So minimal damage, only 2 players down. 3 can buy 2. and they'll still have that double op setup to boot.
And no AWP here for AGO as well. When actually the only player above 3 kills is Snatchy with more than double on 7, and that has been on the AWP. So AGO back down to rifles, and look at the limitations here for the Polish side. Only smokes, and even then, not full smokes. AGO don't have the utility ready to contest this one, so they're going to go for a faster B approach to take control of Banana. Steel looking to contest, but the timing catches him off guard, and Swag misses the follow-up shot. This is exactly what AGO need, considering the limitations of their buy. 2 entries at the cost of none. The B site opened up, and the AWP posted for Snatchy talked. Are they just going to fall back and save and give it up?
Yep, 100%. 100% they don't let this slip too far away. And that just comes down to lackluster shots from Swag. I believe he gets 2 bullets downrange, neither of which hitting its target. And of course, Steel is assuming he has cover over the shoulder. The only reason he pulls out a grenade is because that player is supposed to die when he peeks. So Swag not only losing his own life, but that of his in-game leader as well.
And as a result, the round, and AGO, who got the bomb down so early on, they've already wrapped up towards A. They're looking to isolate Torqued and try and keep them contained, try and take these guns away. They've spotted AZK in the corner. Kusta does get a kill with the AWP in the meantime, but still there are more Polish players surrounding Torqued. They only need to take 1 or 2 kills to completely, remove the buy from next round from Torqued. So, well, they won't find any. For a second, it looked dangerous. Luckily enough, Torqued will stay contained within the A-bomb site, and they'll have money for the buy.
That's thanks to utility, right? They're going to have to reinvest a little bit for grenades, but by throwing down those smokes, you can see them convince the Apps player not even to peek out, because he just knows that's such a disadvantage.
Yeah.
At least that's an instance whereby Torqued don't need to identify a problem other than, I missed my shots, right? It's not necessarily an issue with the setup, it's simply a performance problem in that one round. Now, this is their chance to bounce back. Steel just burning to a crisp, already down to 39 health. If there was a follow-up volley of grenades from AGO towards the top of Banana, they could just remove Steel already. But for now, AGO will sit back and hang on to the grenades, leaving Snatchy to try and crack this open. But at any point now, Kusta could go for a wide swing and try to take one back himself.
Well, it can go either way. And Torqued, not having just rotated another player over, but also having Poyo in the CT spawn ready to hit A if need be, and that's exactly where AGO are looking. Not committed with the bomb, and the man's still down towards the T spawn, but Kusta goes for a shot as a flash blinds him. Steel in the meantime does get the kill from the pit, so we do still have Torqued to the man advantage here, and AGO losing their AWPer as well. The influential player of Snatchy, and Kusta even follows up. Yes, there's health being taken away from AGO, but with a 2-man disadvantage, things are looking good for Torqued once again.
They've convinced the T's to fall towards that B site. The rotator not yet moving off of Arch. Now, this is the problem with the 3-player pit commitment. Now that this Arch player is gone, they don't know if there's any kind of a wraparound. It's delaying it slightly. It's creating a chance for timing, but look at the position behind the fountain. Swag cannot catch them by surprise, and there is Poyo removed. He tries to go through smoke. A 5 versus 3 situation taken down to even keel. Health nearly the same on both sides. A lot of these players prepared to die, and there is Tao catching them by surprise with a trade back from AZK. Both Torqued players incredibly lit.
The same story for AGO. They're not exactly sitting pretty. That peek will be good from Gruby, but Kusta hits a shot in retort. The 1v1, and Furlan's already wrapped up through the ruins. So does Kusta realize he's got the kit to play with? No utility to smoke off this position or take the kill to Furlan. He's already being wrapped in through the CT spawn. He needs to jump on this bomb, but the peek is surely going to come out from behind. Surely Furlan has the timing, and there it is. Round 1 by AGO, but again, these have been coming so damn close. Not convincing for either team. But now, what is convincing is the money for the Polish, and Torqued nowhere near that factor. $2,000 across this team.
My issue with the way Torqued played that round boils down to Poyo just running through smoke. To me, that's the play you make when you've got teammates right behind you who can still contain after point control. If you have another player over towards the back of construction, then that positioning from AGO is not given to them, and they're isolated on the bomb site. But instead, he runs out to the open where Swag has already been flashed, so he's effectively nullified. Yeah. Poyo could have just waited for the rotate. You have 3 players in pit. They are not there to support you. You should be able to stay alive, and instead he tries to make this big ballsy play that ultimately costs them a 5 versus 3 situation.
Yeah, and without that, they have a man advantage on the retake, which surely is their round, even with the limitations of health. So Bit of an issue there for Torque, but we're back in here after a pause, a slight timeout. Pistols in play, but this really isn't a lot, Connor. This is another round for AGO, surely. Torque stacking up with 4 on the A site once again here. But even with that, AGO is starting to put pressure down on B, so the man himself, Swag, forced back towards the site as Banana is gifted away. This may force even a rotation from AZK from long. And look how far Furlan has gained control towards this B site. He has just snuck his way all the way up. Swag, back on the fountain. High flash over, won't blind any of these Ts, but Swag can't see a thing. He's dead, and AGO have the B site like that.
Same position from Swag and same outcome. Flashbang is what costs him. This, to me, is now AGO realizing that the A bomb site has been stacked quite frequently. And I think if there's ever really a tell that Torque can sometimes give away, it's that Steel will be playing generally the bomb site with more players on it because he is that floater. He is the player that changes up bomb sites more often than anybody else. Unless it's Kusta, which would make sense based on, you know, op spawn and a potential peak for a pick. If you find Steel, he's generally not alone.
And now the scary factor is, right, with Torque's only just level with AGO, their CT sides have been the one that have been good this event. So if AGO run away with a strong T side on, you know, a map that is known for its, you know, good CT sides, I think this could be a very, very worrying game for Torque, even on their map pick. Of course, anything can happen. We're only 10 rounds into this one, but Torque need a buy. Steel does save a gun at the very least.
I like this camera angle, Hugo. It's very much similar to a mosaic. You know, nice little ceramic pattern. It's artistic here in DreamHack. We are in France after all.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But right now, there's more than just the fountain as art in the server. This is quite an impressive T-side being pieced together by AGO. They're getting their, again, feet back beneath them. Torqued with something of a start, as seen on Train. But we are back into the even game. Through Molotovs, they'll go once more. Oh, nice opening from Poyo. Maybe a double down. Yes, sir. He needs not to see his targets. He just spams through smoke.
They do have a man cornered. That's Kusta with no AWP. He can't win that duel. Groovy starting to pull things back. And even though health is lost, a man is as well for Torque. So, do they stay wary of this CT wrap? Poyo certainly is, because Steel's back in the library with no information. AWP shot missed for Snatchy as well. Steel needs to rotate into position to help out his teammate, but instead Snatchy looks back towards the A site. Through the library he goes and into the hands of Steel, but Snatchy wins the duel again. A 5-on-3 again for Torque to pull back to a 3-on-3. AGO do so good at pulling back the man advantage, and Snatchy's on a tear here up in library. Swag finally going to trade back onto the player that was low anyway in the middle, but the A site has been gifted here to AGO, however not for long. AZK forcing the kill, and now Tao tries to take a 1v1 to at least secure something into this round, forcing AZK to go for the peak, and now he can just run to the site and plant.
Disjointed attempt there. Does fall onto Swag. He's not had the best of starts. It'll be a massive clutch, and how's he going to play this? Tao wary of a potential apps wrap. He knows that he was last seen towards the bottom of middle. Tao's position right now gives him cover from the apps, so he has to be pushed. And he predicts the one angle that Swag's going to be walking into straight to where he'd expect him from, but Swag quicker on the trigger. At a clutch for Torque that'll put them back in a 1-point lead.
Maybe he'll even be able to save the AWP on top of that as well. So, yeah, okay, you lose 4 players, but at the end of the day, Torque do win it. Now, with that being said, AGO with a bomb plant, their money's not going to be too bad either. $8,000 on a couple of the players. And, I mean, it's impressive to me how many rounds AGO, not only on Train, but also on Inferno, have been doing well at pulling back after they lose 1 or 2 players. Yeah. A lot of teams you'll see lose the first 2 players like that, like Poyo spraying 2 through smoke, nothing you can do about that. You can't re-engage, and then they'll just crumble. But never AGO, they're always still in the round.
The problem is, it's like, you can't stop that, but the odds are you also can't replicate it.
Yeah.
Right? If a 5 versus 3 created through a smoke spray down is how you win a round, good luck doing that twice. So they'll have the guns, sure, and again, they'll have that 1-point buffer, but a threat looms ahead. Snatchy, one of the biggest threats in this series so far. His op has been on point. He has disabled Torqued in multiple rounds, and he'll look to do it again here towards the A site. AGO creeping forward. Kusta holds towards Arch.
And this is a spot that AGO have been going towards numerous rounds here. Although left open by Torqued. many times in the past. This time AGO won't challenge it. They'll just send the bomb back towards B, where Talk have 2 players set up. Steel and Swag, once again. A Molotov left up for Swag as the smoke goes down, but that's the last bit of utility here on this B site, apart from a lone flashbang. So AGO, they're going to have a pretty easy job of actually committing to this. Talk have got to win some Angels, and Swag again, always flash, but the bomb's got in first. That's a big mistake, and Steel, he's going to punish 2 players for it. Cordoned off by the smoke. AGO won't commit to the push, but now as it fades, they begin to go in. PHR with another frag, and Swag finally with a different position might be able to catch him off. This has given time for Talk to rotate players as well, due to the spot with the bomb, and Swag is going to be able to line up another frag, make it a double, not the third, but Snatchy can only find 1 hit of his own.
There it is. It's a hold on the B bomb site that gives enough time for the rotation to come over, ensuring them the round. You add in the fact that Bomb is the first player to make contact, and of course it's dropped in the middle of no man's land, even bouncing off the wall closer towards spawn. Molotoved off, smoked as well. Just solid hold from the B site, but it comes off the back of Steel, who is having himself quite the game. Leading the charge. Leading by example, Hugo, but it's a fast flurry up Banana. Great grenades from Swag and Steel, combining for 2 already. And the Molotov sections AGO off. They won't be able to follow through.
Yeah, definitely a good decision not to push through that as well. Got down before they even got close to the top of Banana. That would have been a death sentence to commit as AGO send their players back towards A. Poyo's already spotted one, and he takes a wide face as well. Somehow doesn't get traded, but there it is. Eventually coming through, Snatchy pulls it back at the very least, and that's a gun gifted over to a man with armor, Groovy. Stuck in the CT spawn again, AGO having so much control over this part of the map, but Talked at least this time are aware. They move a player back in, that's Swag. As Groovy just holds face, he begins to work his way up towards the A bomb site. But does he check this graveyard position? It's a yes! Missed shot from Kusta, and Groovy will take advantage. Flashes may be going over, but Swag is still committed to B, and Talk have control of the bomb, so they don't need to force this kill. And as you can see, they just smoke it off and wait. Yeah,
that was perfect. You could see them almost extending over towards truck lane, wanting to trade Kusta before Groovy has a chance to fall off, but then Steel makes the call. Come here, sit on bomb, smoke it. So throw another. Why not? Burn down the clock to an even more disabling situation. Fresh magazine. Load it up. Spam comes through. And the problem here as well, right, is Bomb's on the other side of smoke. So Molotov confirms that he is here, and it's a numbers game. Who can throw more bullets through smoke? Torqued, of course, because they have 3 players alive, and all 3 will survive moving into this next round.
And what a different game we are seeing as well. If you look at that scoreboard, it's so back and forth. If we look back to Train, it was, you know, streaks of 6, streaks of 7 for either team. Talk getting what a 7-1
13 here.
Yeah, right, for AGO at least. Talk getting a 7-1 lead before AGO eventually pulled it back to an 8-7 half, and now we just have a completely different story. And on a map where economy is so hard to maintain for the CT side, but Talk is still doing that. 8-5 up. With 3 apiece back and forth, AGO look to continue this story and find 3 of their own, and Tao's already kicked off.
Not quite the shoulder peak there, Poyo. Gives up his head. Tao snips it off. AGO try to close the gap towards the A site off of this, at least getting themselves some mid control. But again, smokes from Arch side has really been limiting to them. It at least delays what could be the inevitable. Deep banana control as well is what has afforded this rotation and the A site stack. 2 players within the bomb site, and of course Steel alone towards Arch, fully blind, nearly still capable of getting himself a kill, but will they head towards B? Absolutely not. They're gonna just clear this bomb site kill by kill, although Kusta's still in here, and again he drops the bomb, buying timing for Swag to move up, but in a 1 versus 4, Braxton's just not enough. 8-6, and 1 round to go.
And it seems like they may have it in the bag as well, with the money of Talked being incapacitated in this final round of the half. They've got to piece together what they have, and I can tell you that now, Connor, it's not a lot. A Scout, a Mag 7, and a triple CZ here coming in from the North Americans. As AGO look to continue this, find their 7th, as you say. At the very least, that's good utility for Talked, but I'm still not holding out for it. 4 players up on this A bomb site for the CTs once again, and AGO just a slower default approach this time. They know that Talked are going to have a bit of a skew F buy, so they don't want to play off of spawn and go for a fast push into what could be a rally of a SMGs or a stack from the CT side, and that is the case. heavy towards the apartments as well. A position we've not seen too much pressure on for either team, to be honest, this map. AGO occasionally sending in a man through the balcony to split, but by and large, it's been pit play for Torqued. And Sight as well, giving up that archway, but not this time. AGO do look towards that A site though, and flashes and smokes going over the top for them to commit towards mid.
Boyle, the first casualty of the round, dropped near instantly. Steel grabbing some attention now, and that's going to allow for Kusta to potentially peek, but he won't. You get this volley of grenades each way. Kusta getting himself a little bit of utility, slowing down AGO again, but they haven't slowed down the Apps push. It is there that the T side will position themselves. And of course, they still have utility to volley forward. Kusta wants to dodge as much as he can and upgrades to the AK. So that's something for him to play. Even dodging op shots, Hugo.
Ooh, dangerous peek there.
Confident.
Yeah. And rightly so, with the lead still in their favor, but AGO are beginning to wrap long, and that's where things could all change for the worse. At least for Kusta, he's already dead. AZK hides in the pit, but he is the last line of defense towards his A site. The rotations from Torque taking their damn time. This might not be quick enough, because AZK could only find a single frag, and AGO now have the site under control. A 2-on-3 retake, and again, not enough weaponry to fight it. Steel and Swag look to reunite and try and commit towards this retake, but AGO just have such good afterplants. A crossfire from the apartments to the graveyard, and even another man as well. Surely this is undoable for Torqued, and PHR makes it so. Steel dead, leaves just a scout, and a tag won't be enough. It's going to be AGO finding a 7-round half on Inferno, as they did on the T side of Train.
Yeah, there we have it. That last round to me is a prime example of what I was trying to mention before this game even started. Those very disconnected rotates, those slow movements. I mean, you know, Kusta, sure, he's the one player to fall off from mid, having lost Poyo in the early exchange, but he's completely exposed to the arch wrap, and AZK with his CZ and pit, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
So the A site just crumbles, and Swag and Steel are so far gone that they don't even really get a chance in the round. But Torqued have still managed a near-even first half on the CT side, a place of which they tend to struggle. So we know that historically their T side is formidable. This is where we look for them to succeed, and it's their map choice. But Snatchy is a beast. His AWP shut down Torqued in multiple rounds, and if there's any concern I have for AGO is that this has been just the Snatchy show. There's not been really any other players stepping up behind him. So if he's not able to translate the success from the first half into the second, then that could be another door open for Torque, but they need to find something because AGO obviously have them against the ropes with that one map lead.
I mean, it's all down to that early money game for AGO, right? If they take pistol and pull in the AWP, you know, quickly as Torque to come for an early buy, then things could definitely look difficult. But on the flip side, if Torque are the one to start off this half, and AGO can't get that AWP behind, as you say, with Snatchy being unable to pick up the weapon of choice and they're just left on rifles, there's an opportunity for Torque in and of itself. So we'll see. Double nade up the top of Banana here for the T side, but it's found nothing. AGO very passive here with the full armor buy, even on B as well. So no information here from the current setup of Tau and Furlan. They give up a lot of control for Torqued, and that will allow them to burst the apartments here with a flash on through. Snatchy forced back, but he does win the close range duel and doubles down. Snatchy just railing Torqued one by one, and there's not a single kill from the North American side, and there's nothing they can do.
Wow. Torqued have just sprung the trap on the A site. AGO so willing to just give up the control. They didn't want to give them duels as those T's started to round corners. No, they hid in graveyard, back bomb site, and Snatchy towards pit. He has been a monster in the pistol rounds.
In every round.
Fair enough.
And now Torqued, I mean, this is already leaning against them in the second half. We've already talked about how their T sides usually, yes, good, but this event so far have not been what we expected. So, back foot once again here for Torqued, as they've got to take a bit of a breather with the CZs. Utility on Steel, but AGO with some SMGs, and you're damn right, Snatchy has one. He wants that AWP early, trying to build up some cash on the MP9. And Torqued again up towards this A site, but look at the deep banana control. AGO, they could even afford to rotate a fourth player here. They have all the info. This is not a B play, at least not yet. As Furlan looks to maybe go for a bit of a gamble.
Torque should obviously be very aware that there could be players so hot on their heels. Deep smoke grenade tends to indicate the potential of a push. Steel's the kind of player that I don't think will call the execution until he's at least, you know, taken a bit of a gander down Banana. But at this point, obviously, AGO pushed all the way deep, lower mid, heard nothing there, no presence from Torque whatsoever, and then push a player back towards Coffins. Ferlin will linger a little longer, and a great flashbang from the bomb site primed him for a multi-kill. He does still pick up 2, but there's a second MP9 to get past, that of Tau. Oh, that's big. At least a bomb plant made from Torque. A chance to deal additional damage, but AGO have 1 kit and no utility for a retake.
No weapons picked up, though. Not real weapons of value. Only an SMG on AZK. These CZs are still going to have to outbeat the 2 M4s on the retake, but there's another player down. Double M4 left now, and Groovy finds a double kill in the meantime, but it's Steel, the man with no armor in this round, to clutch it out. He's going to need all 3 kills because they're already towards the bomb. He finds 1, but it's PHR with a quick trade and AGO with the retake. But at least they take casualties.
Yeah.
You've got to look on the positive of that one. They go into that round without a lot to play with, and they still get 4 kills in the bomb plant.
Yep.
Yes, they still have to go for an eco here, but I mean, this is even a possibility to buy up, knowing that you can reset AGO so early into this half. Will Torque go for the risk? I don't think so.
You'd be surprised, Hugo.
Well, surprised I am.
What are they going to go? Ooh, the double raid boss.
I like it.
Dropping the AKs to the Kevlar players. Who do they task with such a challenge? Steel and Kusta. Statistically, the stars.
Kusta not really having the game of his life. Bottom of the team here for Torque. So maybe a questionable decision. I feel like AZK, who not only top fragged the previous map, but is doing the second most, at least on this as well, would be a good decision. But he doesn't have armor because he's had to drop over the gun.
Yep. That's the situation Torque find themselves in. They've yet to fire off rounds, I don't believe. Now they have, so the AK's been revealed. AGO knows something's up.
And you can see they prepared for this buy as well. 4 M4s. It's not like AGO have gone for an SMG buy that Torque could exploit. They're still, you know, half as well equipped. So we're going to need some big individual hero plays here from the North Americans if they actually want to take this round.
Ooh, first casualty. And it's off of the CZ, so it's not even one of the guns tagged up. But Ferlin traded back 1 for 1, still 3v3. As Torque wrap around Arch, it's AZK upgrading into the M4. He does spot the player towards Graveyard, but Groovy's still able to get 2 despite being spotted. And Kusta, who's been equipped since the start of the round, now finds a little bit of impact. Railing the head of Groovy to the wall. Kusta will clear his flank. He has 30 seconds. He could run towards B.
There's no one here. There's no one on that B site. He doesn't know it just yet, and he looks to continue this wrap. No way he can arch wrap to the B site with this much time, so he's got to commit towards A where 2 players are set up. But no, maybe a second consideration. No, he's going back up through short, and AGO, they have a crossfire. Surely he can't win this round with a position set up from the CT side with a missed shot from Towel in the smoke. Will Kusta expect the second man? It's a no. And PHR saves the day for AGO, but again, a 1v1 that was just too little and too late.
Again, I think that comes down to just this moment of indecision. He wants to clear towards Arch, but never actually fully extends. He smokes it off, maybe distracting so that they think he's rapping. And then, when he comes up truck lane, he didn't need to swap to the bomb right away. He had 8 seconds on the clock, 7 seconds. He could have taken that additional 2-second buffer to properly clear corners. And he didn't. It cost him, it costs Torque. And their schnazzy situation, the strategy they employ does not pan out. The double AK is not enough. AGO will take a pause after this just to recompose.
And these are the worst types of pauses for Torque, at least, because with AGO calling it, Torque's going to have to sit there on a full eco now with limited, minimal investment for 30 seconds, not being able to talk, not being able to decide how they want to approach this round, and just mull over the clutch they just previously lost. So AGO with a 2-round lead and looking to extend that to a 3rd seems very likely given the economy of this North American side. And again, Deagles, better utility for Steel as always. He loves his nades.
Considering how reserved Torque had been with some of their train buys, it is a little surprising to me that they, tried to work that double AK. Obviously, the opportunity presents itself with how weakened AGO had been by a couple of close rounds by Torque. Problem being is now Torque have to deal with the consequences. Every action has a reaction, and this reaction's poverty. Casualties too, starting to trickle in here as Ferlin, close towards the smoke. Could opt to run through this.
Swag does not know how close he's hitting. And the awkward thing is, the man they lost was the man with the smoke, so A big part of this potential strategy to be employed by Torqued is gone. They've picked up a flashbang, but the second nade is not theirs. Oh, nice shot though. Will they expect the close position? Because there was no repeat in from Furlan, but there will be from Snatchy up on Archway. He gets one, just missing the timing of the second player with the bomb, who does decide to back off as Swag continues to push Banana. A second kill for the tally, but he doesn't expect the man in CT. Big mistake, and there is the lost smoke from Torqued coming back to haunt them.
And it's not even though it's like you get a 2K towards the top of Banana where there's no time for a CT to rotate. When you kill both players at the bottom of mid, you need to anticipate some kind of presence towards cross. If you have a smoke, sure, maybe run out assuming nobody's in construction. I think that would have been fair. And in fact, nobody was. But to just make an open cross like that is, in my opinion, throwing away what was an awesome opportunity.
And it's not like they were low on time. It's not like he had to force a bomb plant or anything in that situation. He didn't even have the bomb.
If anything, what he needed to do was cut off a rotation.
Yeah.
So he should have had his gun up ready to duel. But bygones be bygones. That's the way that round crumbles. AGO. Molotov's down Banana, forced the feet of AZK inside the fire, and he just burns to a crisp.
Man. I didn't even look like it spread to him. Unfortunate way to start off this round, especially with the first real buy from Torqued of the half. And with AGO with what I would still say is a significant lead into this map. The only positive is, without having built up money on the CT side, Torqued can get back into this game like that, and Kusta does find the kill. So Tao dead in the Banana. Torqued not able to commit because of the smoke, and Furlan repositions himself aggressively. They may not expect that, but again, it's a situation where if Kusta finds his follow-up kill, if they manage to take down Furlan, they can easily commit towards the B site, but instead, they find one on A. Steel dropping Snatchy, one of the better players for AGO this series, and they'll just back off towards B once again.
This is the right call to make. There's a single defender. Torqued have utility as well to work with this. Poyo opting not to throw it early. PHR hot on their heels, so they know exactly what's up. We're going to see the player wrapping through CT as fast as can be, and Furlan's just looking to delay. He is outnumbered, outgunned, and now down for the count. Kusta catches him as he's burned into the open, but PHR, great flank, he's tops two. No plant either here, Hugo.
And Groupie just runs through the smoke. Look at the confidence from AGO. PHR finding a third frag, and the bomb dropped with 20 seconds left. Kusta's low. He does find the 1v1 though, and now with PHR with even less points of health, Kusta has an opportunity. He failed a 1v2 before, but this is his chance for retribution. Plant coming in as well. As he looks for that fourth kill, repositioning to the back of the site, PHR takes his time, and Kusta takes an off angle on this fountain, covering his head. PHR might not expect this position as he goes for the slow peek in, and Kusta with the spray. Torqued, still in this game.
Ooh, that was close, Hugo. Incredibly close. 4 players up when they walked into the bomb site, but again, nice flank. They understood what was happening there. For Steel to come out from Boiler to not only get the first pick, but then also push back that Arch player, the Arch player who then uses his own smoke to block off middle and walks through it, that's a sick play, great flank, and an almost awesome round here from AGO, but Kusta's enough to seal the deal, and Torqued do move forward with a bit of an opportunity here. AGO's been relegated into just the SMGs. Couple sidearms back behind it, grenades as well making an appearance, but not nearly the same type of buy as that of Torqued, who are looking to assert themselves with a rifle advantage.
And this is those early back and forth rounds where Torqued are getting 3 and 4 kills, and yes, okay, not winning the rounds, but getting close and doing economical damage, coming back to haunt AGO. Giving a huge opportunity to the T side. But will they grasp it? Snatch in middle, 5-7. He does get 1 kill as well, but Poyo, again, quick with the trade, keeps it in check for Torqued. AGO having to go for the double rotate as they just give up B, going for the risk stack. And right now looking like the right call, but with Torqued still having a man down bottom mid and the smoke coming into the archway, this may make Torqued reconsider.
Yeah, with the amount of smoke grenades AGO have thrown out towards the A site, it's a real signal of what could be a bomb site stacked. And in fact, that is what AGO have going for them. 3 players on A. And Torqued, in the meantime, have shuffled their way towards the B site, where Tao holds cross. Of course, utility here and the advantage of Torqued, as AGO have thrown everything they've got, mostly. Smoke down, Mac 10 flying forward. And Tao reveals himself, but he's not able to line anything up. He will contain the control after plant inside construction, but AZK lies in wait.
And there's the man advantage. Torqued maybe with the possibility of finding this round without too many casualties, but there's Furlan out of nowhere with a double. Not arms long enough to reach the AK on the floor, but he flashes over the top to try and cross, and he grabs it. Low HP, but this flank from PHR is very, very late. So if AGO do commit to this round, it could work out, but no. They realize the time is against them. And even finding damage and guns to be saved, AGO have to give up a 10th to Torqued, allowing this game to get close to an equalization. But do they expect PHR down bottom mid? Because if they don't, then he may be able to not only upgrade, but also, again, limit this money at the T side. And I mean, they had limitations into this round, Connor. It was a Mach 10 on one of the players as well. And they need every gun they can get, and luckily save both.
AGO doing to Torqued what Torqued were doing to them, right? Curbing the cash, keeping things as close as can be. This is it, though. This is the round Torqued should be able to tie up the game, unless Ferlin and PHR can make massive use of the little they have. Torqued now starting to go into that bit of mid control, attempting to take players back off brackets, and then an eventual B site rotation. That's been the formula for the last couple of rounds.
And just instant top banana control taken with AGO not being able to contest, not with this bite. Ferlin. This solo rifle just waits for contact, but Torqued not giving him the full commitment just yet. That's the peak. Kusta winning the duel, and if Torqued just execute off the back of that, this is their round, no doubt about it. But how long do they delay, and do AGO rotate as well? There's already players moving in through the CT spawn, and Torqued, I think they're about to realize his sight is clear. Still, Molotov flying in, still playing safe. Poyo caught in the second middle, means Snatchy grabs an AK for himself. The options now for AGO, do we save or do we go? And it won't even be the option as Swag takes another frag, Kusta drops a man in the CT spawn, and PHR at least keeps things in check. But with all of this going on in the second middle, Torqued getting the bomb down on the B site, and with that, the round almost guaranteed.
I mean, AGO walking out of this round with more than they walked into it with, despite having given up 3 casualties. They'll get the double Kalashnikov. It's going to allow for a nice strong utility buy when they come back into the next gun round. But this is it, Hugo. This is a tied game now from Torqued. 3 in a row after pistol. What's nice as well is we get the exchange of pistol rounds, right? No team winning both, so what has been a very even half has no reason not to continue this way. And speaking of even, everybody putting in numbers here. The only anomaly across both teams would be Tao, and he still has time to catch up.
And again, like if we look at Kusta, he was the bottom performer for the entire first half, and since he got that massive 4K in the 1v2 clutch, he's now second top of the team, showing that, yeah, okay, you can be a slow start, but as long as you eventually kick in, you can still save the game. Torqued are in this one. With their T-side starting to look far better as well with 3 in a row, they've got to continue this streak. And pretty much we're at a spot now for Torqued is every round they get, they should get 2 off the back of it because of the money. With AGO being yet to build up their own funds on the CT side, if Torqued win a rifle round, AGO are back down to pistols. But Connor, the AWP is out for Snatchy, and we know how much impact this can have.
There's also no AWP on the other side, right? So it's still going to be those 5 AKs. Snatchy right now having a really good spawn for middle peak as well. I'd love to see him actually run up into balcony because Poyo has consistently been playing alt mid and Poyo has been running up alt without much support. So remember, Poyo was caught last round from the balcony peak.
From Snatchy himself.
Let's see it. Let's do it. Snatchy, what are you made of?
Oh.
That's the most disappointing build-up.
Underwhelming, but
I see opposite of the squad.
Yeah. I see why he's playing safe, though.
It's the right call.
Yeah.
This is a good chance for AGO considering their buy.
Well, let's see if he's going to be tried and tested up towards top mid. Torqued do take control, and now this is the surprise factor. Snatchy with the AWP. Bit of damage towards him, but he does get a kill off the back of it and falls back too late. AZK with an impactful trade now as Torqued look to cement their way onto this A-bomb site. Mid may have been grabbed by AGO, pushed down Banana, but it has been spotted by that of the T side, and Towster wins the duel. Important, still taking the distraction, allowing PHR to get a frag as the smoke fades, leaving this in a 2v2. Exit through the apartments from Swag, but it is down to AZK, 7 points to help, and he can't find the clutch. AGO winning the round and saving the AWP to boot.
An incredibly fast unfolding round there. It was just frag after frag, trade after trade. Swag manages to get himself A kill from the apps. AZK wraps through arch side. It was that bottom middle flank from Tau that I think made the most impact, because all of a sudden, the entirety of Torqued had to come to a grinding halt.
And again, it shows, okay, bottom of the board, but one kill almost guarantees that round for AGO. It takes all the attention, it allows PHR to find one up from short as well as that smoke fades. You know, multiple kills credited to that one aggressive position.
Numbers aren't everything, Hugo. And that's a prime example of it, you're right. I've seen a similar situation from Torqued before, the double AK. This time, a lot more grenades to come in behind this. And if you're working with this sort of a buy, I do believe working to the B site is a great idea. Torqued have been feeling out both sides of the map and then rotating. This time it's just a straight up commitment, and Tau, well, he's going to give a bit of space. As AZK takes one, Tau spamming through smoke's going to double down here, and the bomb point will still try to attempt itself. Great boost by Snatchy, able to op out one and take this into a man advantage. But the AK is retrieved in time by Torqued. They are still able to find Sanctuary towards the back of the bomb site, but with Molotovs and frags raining forward, they do not have an easy job ahead. Although, they are patient. They lie in wait. Kusta hoping that somebody walks past the gap, and just like that, he snaps back with the first headshot. Poyo to clutch 1v2, and he just can't do it. Groovy closes it out, and AGO to 13.
Heartbreaking for Torqued considering the investment as well, getting so much from it, getting into good post-plant positions, but it is AGO with a hell of a lot of utility to get straight back into the site. And credit where credit is due, 13 rounds up now for the Polish. As Torqued, yes, they get a bomb plant, but no, they have no money. It's only slight loss bonus to work off of. They can put some minimal investment into this round, but if they want that full buy with great utility, they shouldn't buy up more than really a pistol and a little bit of utility.
With the amount of time that was left on that bomb, I have to wonder why Poyo is in the open. There's a Molotov over towards Dark Corner, but there's none on New Box. 1 versus 2 situation, bomb planted for you, utility's already been thrown out, and you have a chance to maybe just burn down the clock or isolate kills. Instead, you're on full display.
Yeah, and given the fact that his teammate was completely covered by CT, there was no reason for Poyo to be like aggressively taking a fight towards the CT spawn. He can catch the cross, he can play back corner. If a player gets close towards the oranges to take down Kusta, if he wasn't going to die from that Ruins player, Poyo can have the cross easy. So, yeah, definitely maybe over-facing there from the Torqued side. We also
have all the knowledge, but yeah, no kit in the situation. So that's really what makes it happen, right?
While Torqued at least half buying down, they actually put a fair bit of money into this one. They will really need a bomb plant at this point if they want to have everything, including that AWP.
Hugo, they might need a lot more than just a bomb plant here. Torqued. The tank is starting to look a little empty, both in terms of funds and chances. But the entirety of the T-side prances round arch. They could actually pressure the bomb site, but how do you get past these M4s at range? Look at the damage coming out now from AGO, just whittling them down piece by piece. Snatchy even has a bit of a chance here as Swag will trade towards the bomb site, but he's lost himself the bomb itself. And that should be the nail in the coffin, unless... Nope.
Like, the big issue for me there in that round with Torqued is they're only trying to take 1v1 duels. Once they get that arch control, a really valuable position that gives you the option to both split B or wrap in through that A site and maybe send an apartments player to get a good crossfire, even with CZs. You should be grouping up. You should just be trying to play the fact that you can trade effectively with those CZs. They're not exactly guns you can go and get 3 frags from like an M4, but you can easily grab 1 or 2 of your own. And Torqued sending, you know, 1 player into the CT spawn, 1 player rushing up to the archway to the A site. You know, it seems like they're just not grouped. They're not on the same page. And as a result, because they invested so much and didn't get a bomb plant, look at the money. They've done it again. They've gone for a half buy. They've got a couple of thousand saved, but they're giving away 15 rounds to AGO.
Steel has identified publicly that one of the biggest issues for his team is when communication starts to break down. Yeah. That has been one of the biggest faults for this lineup. And if there is that disjointedness between players, then you have to wonder if that is what's happening now. Although the decision's still reserved. Torqued offering up this 15th, right? Still having some smokes, and they've worked rounds like this before. Tau's gonna get out of dodge just in the nick of time, and Ferlin bails him out with a 2K. Continuous spam now as the trio of frags comes to a completion, but bomb still on site, and Tau boosted over smoke. Should have them dead to rights.
Oh, a bit of a spray though, and he whiffs it as the player passes behind the fountain. Steel will grab the kill, and now Kusta getting aggressive. No armor to play with, so aim punch is a problem, and now it is just Steel. 1v3, and he takes the jewels, but he's not able to win them. so much damage to Groovy as well. He was given the opportunity, given 3 separate one-on-ones, but AGO, they're going to find it. And for me, Connor, this is where I start to question that heavy investment 2 rounds ago. We would have had a full buy in that round for Torque, and yes, they wanted to build that loss bonus. Maybe they wanted the AWP for Gusta, but it's given map and match point away to AGO while Torque try and fight back 4 in a row on the T side. And the last 4, they're all Polish.
Ooh, so aggressive is Snatchy. The confidence is spilling over now. A 5 versus 3 in the opening 20 seconds of this round puts Torqued against the ropes. Elimination on the line. AGO looking to pick up their opponent's map pick. But they do still have 3 players to deal with. Of course, inside of the apartment, Swag will creep. Oh, but timing costs him 95 points of health. There's the peek from Snatchy and another to his kill feed. Just tallying them up at this point. 1 by 1 they've fallen. AZK remains, and dead to rights he is. AGO eliminating Torque, the first to fall in Tours.
And fantastic performance individually from some of the players over on the side of AGO. Snatchy, PHR, these 2 players putting up such an incredible amount of kills, but not just that, impactful kills as well. And AGO proved that their loss versus Godsent yesterday was only just a blip. They come back in with a very, very good 2-0 and a good start to the day as well. They're continuing to fight for their lives here in this group to get out in 2nd place.
Yep, absolutely. It's nice to see them come in with some kind of a performance because, again, you know, we look at this team as maybe one of the heaviest hitters in Poland right now.
Yeah.
So they're doing themselves well, representing here in France. And, you know, I have to tip my hat to Snatchy. That was just incredible op play across both maps. He was the player to me that really kicked off Inferno most notably. He was leaps and bounds above the rest of his team, and then PHR closes things out in the 2nd.
And even pistol rounds as well. That's where he stepped up massively with multiple 2Ks across both maps and showing, okay, you know, this is something that is dragging us through. Like, if we're winning all these pistols, if Snatchy's being able to find us these important rounds, as a result, we're getting the anti-ecos, we're getting a, you know, 3, 4, 5 rounds for free when Torqued are yet to build up money. So really nice work from Snatchy. Happy to see him have a great performance here on day 2 of Tour. But for now, we are done. We're going to be handing over to the analyst desk here to watch them break down that match. What a mad game, guys.
Yes, we are going to try our very best, Connor and Hugo, to break that down. During that 2nd map, I did have hope Torque could maybe launch a comeback, and there was also there were moments for them on train. It was 8-1, I think, at one point in their favor. And Natu, what happened?
You jinxed it, didn't you? Yeah, the CZs happened, but yes. No. Yeah, the train definitely, they started out really strong, and it felt to me like Ego really couldn't find the answers. Torque playing quite passively, actually, a lot of the situation, letting Ego come in, but then having like a 4th together, never allowing Ego to get into the situation where a bomb would go down with them having the numbers advantage in those situations. But then, yeah, the CZs happened, and that round actually Torque was being a little bit more aggressive, and they paid the price for it. They lost 3 first men in that situation, and it all just spiraled out of control afterwards.
Yeah, a little nice dragon lore. No, what's it called? The lore. The lore knife something there in the back. But AZK did make a fantastic play before then. They ended up winning that round. Nonetheless, train ended up going in favor of AGO and Inferno also, meaning Torque are our first team to exit the tournament. What can you say about them, Blair, regardless of them leaving at this point?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like we mentioned yesterday, I think it was Connor who brought it up, that they're the only team in this event to have made it to the LAN through the open qualifier. So for them actually getting here from that was an achievement on its own. They had a great performance yesterday. You know, almost it could have just gone their way. This could have been a completely different story altogether. But then here's the thing: AGO made quite a number of mistakes, small little mistakes here and there, but they just didn't get punished for it. And it always felt like a Steel and his men were just like, you know, climbing an uphill battle, just trying to somewhat grind it out. And you know, getting into this tournament, we spoke about how their CD side is where they've been showing a lot of weakness on, but this time around the T side was non-existent. 2 maps, they won 3 rounds in total on the T side. That is not something which is going to net you a W.
Indeed. Let's now link up with Toa from AGO. Is it Toa? Tua? Please explain.
It's actually towel, to be honest.
Towel?
Towel, yeah.
As in towel as in like to dry yourself off after a shower?
No, it's actually the one and only. Just
oh, the one and only. Thank you for the explanation. So give us your initial reaction to that matchup you've now won against Talked.
Basically, we didn't know what to expect because they didn't play a lot officials against Europeans. So that's we didn't prepare a lot, but we know if we play our game, we should win.
Okay, and how do you feel you guys are as a team at the moment, and also specifically within your country of Poland? Where do you guys stack up?
I guess we are on top of the Poland teams. We played Virtus Pro in 2017, so we don't really know how is it on the top 2 because or top 3 even, because we don't know. But in Poland we feel very good, and
and what would you say your greatest strengths are as a team? We've discussed on the desk that you guys have been playing for a very long time together, and that stands out to us.
Can you repeat?
What would you say your greatest strengths are as a team?
I think we have a very good aggressive upper, and we use them a lot to find the entries. And we play very structured, maybe, kinda, communication-wise, and that's the biggest strength, I think, that we can communicate, everyone can fire off, and somebody have an off game like me, like this time, so we can still win. That's very good.
Guys, any questions?
Yeah, like you were calling, you were in-game leading for the team for quite a while, right? And then recently Furlan took over. And I think it was an interview on HLTV that was mentioned how now you're playing with a more looser play style. You know, it's not as super structured as usual. You know, you are allowing players like Snatchy, for example, to go and you know, make plays. Has it been working out in your favor? How long has it been? And has anything major changed so far?
We are playing like Furlan is calling right now, so we are playing like that in about three weeks, maybe a month already. But it's still we need a lot more time because we are still figuring out how to use me, for example, as a lurker, as a like how can I communicate with my teammates, what can I do, and it's still in the progress. So we'll see how it goes in this tournament in the future ones.
Natu, anything you'd like to ask?
You guys pretty much nailed it. I think we've got it covered here.
Well, Twa, what happened yesterday against Godsent, and how are you going to improve going into Gambit later today?
I think against Godsent we made stupid mistakes, like going contact plays with just one guy, and there's like like 10 meters away the second guy, which we didn't stack up in contact plays. We failed to win anti-ecos, and that's what lost us a game, I think. And against Gambit, I feel very good because we played them a couple times before, and we know how they play. We should maybe not take a win, but we should manage to fight very good.
Awesome. Any final words you'd like to say to the people watching at home?
Just thank you for supporting us, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, take care, and thank you very much for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah, so Blair and Natu, they move forward now, and let's discuss who they're playing. Gambit, do you think that is a good matchup for them?
It depends what kind of Gambit they get against them, because we've seen two phases of Gambit even within a span of a game in this tournament so far. So I think there's that. But obviously, I feel like Gambit is definitely going to be the favorite team. But there are still tiny little caveats here and there that could play in the favor of Ego.
Yeah, like one thing I noticed, and which he brought up right now, was the fact that if you look at his two maps, he was bottom fragging by far. And it looked like at one point, like everyone, like Snatchy was doing great, PHR was doing great, Grubby, Furlan as well. But they haven't really found a slot, right? He just mentioned that. So I think, you know, obviously they have like maybe a couple of hours to prep for a Gambit, so they don't have enough time to fit him in. But there were small little mistakes we saw them make on Inferno, on Train as well, which they didn't get punished for enough. And against Gambit, they will be punished, right? So they need to fix the small little things, and I think it will be a close game. But yes, I agree with Natu that Gambit do have the upper edge here.
Awesome. So Talked are our first team out here at DreamHack Open Tour 2018. AGO move forward to play Gambit later today, and we still have 3 more best of 3s to go. Do not forget, you can keep up to date with everything and extra details on the Strafe Esports app. You can also vote there on who you would like to see win each game or who you think might win. And so please do go ahead and get involved. Now, coming up after the break, we have Imperial versus Hellraisers, 2 international rosters, and this is certainly a matchup that you should tune in for.
Place your bets at gg.bet.